to Looking at Hollywood, our first Looking at Hollywood quiz. What is a commish? Number 1, could it be something you order at a deli? Number 2, could it be the 10% an actor pays an agent for something the actor gets himself? Or number 3, could it be a top-rated ABC show starring our guest, Theresa Saldana? A wonderful show. She's got so much to say. So let's eavesdrop with Skippy and Theresa now.
Theresa Saldana grew up where, darling?
Oh, in Brooklyn.
Are you really from Brooklyn?
Mm-hmm.
The Raging Bull. Tell me about the Raging Bull. How did you get that part? That was such a great role for you.
I auditioned 6 times.
What do you mean, 6 times? Did you really?
6 times, yeah. I had to keep going back again and again.
Uh-huh.
And they did it mostly with improv, so I never saw a script.
You didn't do a script? Really?
No.
Robert De Niro, when you did the improv, was he there when you had to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I did it with him, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but when you auditioned.
Yes,
yeah, you
he
did.
was at all the auditions.
All the auditions with...
Yes,
Really?
all the major characters auditioned with him.
Uh-huh. How was it for you to meet Robert De Niro at the time?
Oh, it was really a thrill. He was my favorite actor, and I was really young and new to the business, so it was...
You weren't that new. Weren't you studying acting? Weren't you studying acting?
Yeah.
Who did you study with?
Sanford Meisner.
One of the best. Actor Studio, of course.
Yeah. I had done, I think, 1 film. No, 2. I had done 2 films before that. So Raging Bull was, I think, the 3rd.
But a lot of energy in that film, Theresa.
Yeah.
I mean, like a bullet.
I didn't have to do any boxing, thank God.
After that, when that film came out, Theresa Saldana, a lot of attention came. How did you handle that immediately? Because you were just, all of a sudden, boom.
Nothing changed, except I could pay my rent. That was about it.
You just remained in New York, or just...
No, I was out here. I had moved out here before Raging Bull.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was already in LA, and in fact, I think I had 4 auditions in LA and 2 in New York, because I was bi-coastal at the time.
What made you come to California at the beginning of your career?
Oh, well, I did a movie.
TV or movies?
No, I did a movie in New York, and I did some commercials, and I did some television, and I really wanted to do feature films. I had done a lot of theater for a number of years, and I really wanted to do movies. So,
living in New York, looking back, as a young actress, studying was theater. You did a lot of theater, you're saying. You miss the theater? Because you don't do that much now.
well, I
Because
do
you're
it
doing
to a
TV,
degree. Yeah,
you're
now
doing
that
movies, you're doing a lot of things. You're not doing the theater anymore, so go
well,
ahead.
that's not really true. I was doing theater at the time when I got the commish. So I was doing Tamara at the time here in LA. And so that wasn't that long ago. It was only 2 years ago. I was in Tamara for a fairly long run. And then I did the commish. And last year, actually, I had a few opportunities to do theater that were firm offers, but we couldn't work it out in the hiatus. The timing wasn't right. One was for a tour and one was for a Broadway show. So that was a drag. You know, I'm very open to doing theater, but I only have those 4 months open.
But you do love the theater, though.
Oh, I love it.
That's your roots, isn't it?
Yes, if I could find something to do that would be bracketed in the perfect time frame, I would do it.
Because when I watch you on film, or even on television, or anything, I see the theater quality there. That is, you know, there's something about your moments. It's so theater.
I miss it, but at the same time, I don't feel it's really gone. I feel like probably by next hiatus, I will do another play, one way or another. I'll squeeze it in.
So after the Bull, Raging Bull, what happened to Theresa from there? What happened for, what did you do next?
I did a whole bunch of movies in a relatively short time, and I think I didn't realize quite how lucky I was or how much work.
You didn't know how much lucky you were?
I knew I was lucky. I knew it was great to be working, but I didn't realize the degree to which projects were coming my way. I was doing about 2 or 3 features a year, a bunch of guest stars, but just so much work for someone, you know, like early 20s. I mean, I really was constantly working, and I was always busy and always doing it, and, you know, then I got hurt, as the whole world knows.
I know, that's I'm going to say a tragic thing happened to Theresa Saldana. Like a crazy man out there from one of the people that did watch you on Raging Bull. Evidently, he must have seen that Raging Bull hundreds of times, fell in love or craziness or something.
Something.
Is something happened, tell me, was it the Raging Bull did that, do you think?
No, he saw me in something else.
Was that?
A movie with Jan Michael Vincent. It was called Defiance.
Right.
So that, you know, that happened, and because I got hurt and I got stalked and stabbed and all of that, I was basically out of commission for a little while. And that was a period of time when I devoted most of my energies to victims' rights and activism and helping other victims of crime. And then really I got married and had a baby, and after the baby was born, I took a little time off to recoup. But once I went into Tamara, which was about 3 years ago, is when I went really fully back into my career again, and I did Tamara, and I did...
I saw you in Tamara. I thought you were great. You played the maid, the outrageous maid. You were wonderful. I saw, matter of fact,
You said that was the best part.
Stella Stevens. I just saw Stella Stevens, and she's in it doing now. She's great. But there's something, she didn't do the maid. The maid is done by someone else. Stella's playing Tamara.
Right.
But the maid part, that's a hot role.
It's a juicy part. It was a very good part to make a comeback of sorts in. So
the crowd was following Theresa Saldana, every room. I mean, Annie, every room, they were all following her. I mean, you had all these young, hot college boys and all kinds of girls even following you. Looking at, we're close up, Theresa. Difficult to think and project because your audiences are there, eyeball to eyeball.
Well, you never look in their eyes.
I know, but you know, they're looking up your nostrils trying to see what they can see. You know, if you're out of place or something. It's difficult for an actress like yourself to...
I didn't find it difficult. I loved doing it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very campy and wild, and you just get to do a lot of fun stuff. It was very free. I mean, you could just run around this big, beautiful mansion, and you know, it's kind of it's fun to have people running down after you.
Up the steps and down the steps.
That's what people want to be actors for. I mean, if you're afraid to have people running after you, what's the point? I mean, these people would literally have to run after us, not just my character, but all the actors. In order for them to see whatever part of the show they want to see, they have to pursue you. And
but exercise. Oh God, you must have lost a lot. I mean, you're thin as it is.
I was a bone at the time.
Yeah, really. That maid part is a tough role, jumping up on the beds and this and that, the stairs.
It really juiced me up. It helped me really get back into wanting to, you know, act full time again. And luckily for me, while I was doing Tamara, I was able to shoot 2 different pilots. One was for Lifetime. It was a show called Confessions of Crime. And one was for the Commish, and both of them sold, which was amazing.
They both sold.
Yeah, so last year I ended up commuting from LA to Canada, doing both shows at the same time.
2 shows you got.
Wow.
What a busy girl.
It was really good.
Was it really? You liked it?
Yeah.
But you got married. Go on, Theresa. After this whole tragedy, you met a guy.
Yes.
This guy is just a great guy. He's an athlete, actor, but basically he's an athlete. And I really like Phil Peters. How are you, Phil?
I'm good, Skip.
Good. You're a Red Sox catcher, a pitcher, or
Pitcher.
Pitcher.
Yeah.
One of the famous. Tell me about the Red Sox. How did Phil get into that?
Well, you know, the Red Sox were really the last club that I was with, and that was a thrill to wind up in that situation. But basically, I consider myself a former Milwaukee Brave.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And St. Louis Card, you know, and but I did wind up in the Red Sox organization at the end of my time there, and I had
did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. I did.
How did you meet? I mean,
how did we meet?
Acting or
Oh, no.
how in a script or what?
It sounded like one.
Or what, Phil?
We met at the Beverly Hills Hospital.
Really?
Yeah, I had just had back surgery, and I was on a walker, and it was my first day out of on my feet, and I literally bumped into her coming out of my room. And she was in the next room.
With her tragedy?
No, it wasn't at that time, but it was related. And,
I see.
It was a back problem that she was having at that time, which is now cleared up.
So what happened after the hospital? You guys dated, or what happened?
Yeah, that's
Really?
where we met.
I think it's great to have a man in your life, Theresa, to protect you now. I mean, the idiots out there, right, Annie?
That's right. I don't have to be afraid anymore.
You got a guy. I got a real man there. He's a baseball player. He's an actor. You studied with who in New York, Phil?
Lee Strasberg and Harold.
What made you get into acting? You always were an actor?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was an easy transition after baseball ended. Actually, my sister convinced me to go into acting.
Is your sister?
My sister Marilyn. She kind of said, you know, why don't you do what you've always really wanted to do? And I went into Boston, and I started to study in Boston, and I landed a role First as an extra, and then a bit part in a film called The Last Detail, which was you know, Jack Nicholson's big emergence into. Well, I think that was his first nomination as a leading actor, and it was a lot of fun. And
Study with Actor Studio, though. How'd you get that? Because you don't study; you have to audition for the Actor Studio. Baseball player, come on, Actor Studio. Tell me about that.
Well, I went to New York, and I was looking for a place to find out whether or not I should continue as an actor. And someone told me about the studio. I really was ignorant of what it was all about. And I auditioned, which you have to do once.
Right.
And
you remember the rest of your life.
Yeah. You audition, you take 2 auditions, actually, a preliminary. And if you get through that, they ask you to come back for a final, and I did. And the gods were good, and then I became a member.
Learned a lot. Film, first film.
Was The Last Detail.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Theresa Saldana, child, you have a lovely little girl. Sweet. How old is she now?
She's 3.5.
You seem very, very happy, you two. You're both in the Commish together. You're in the Commish together. I'd like to show a clip right now from one of your shows. This is a hit show from Canada, isn't it? Actually, it's on ABC, is it? Or
yes, it's on ABC.
It is a good show.
Thanks.
It's a family show. It's not just, we don't have good family shows.
Right.
I like to show this clip. Annie, could you clip it? Thank you.
They ran all the tests. She's perfect.
Oh, God. Sarah. Oh, she is beautiful.
She's beautiful.
And she's perfect. Oh, don't cry, honey.
Yes, she is.
Honey, how's Lou? Will it be all right? Oh, Tony.
I told him he could be a godfather. He said he always wanted a little girl. You think we could name her Sarah Lou?
Sarah Lou would be fine.
Love you. Great clip. It's a wonderful clip. Thank you. Hard work, working in Commish, but traveling back and forth. You have a child. You take your child with you?
Oh, yes.
Everywhere.
Our daughter's always with us. Always with us. And Phil has a daughter from a prior marriage, so we do come to LA a lot and visit her.
That is a very lovely scene with the baby.
Thank you.
Just touching. It seems that you're holding that baby like it's yours.
Well, I love the babies. The babies are twins, and I met them when they were only 8 weeks old, which was last July. So we are very bonded. I'm sure they think I'm their auntie or something. And we spend a lot of time with them. And a lot of times the mother of those twins comes, and my mom and I or Tiana's babysitter will watch her in my trailer, one of the twins, and then the mother will have the other twin who's working. So we spend a lot of time. And luckily, our little girl, Tiana, loves the twins, loves the baby. She doesn't have any jealousy at all. She just is so thrilled on the days when the little babies work because she gets to play mommy and feed them and everything.
What's the most important thing you've learned since your terrible tragedy, Theresa? I mean, you've had a tragedy in your life. Something is hard to, I mean, this can be with you the rest of your life. You met a man you loved to protect you, but what's the most important thing that you've learned?
Well, I'm sure it's enjoying life, really appreciating life.
You really appreciate it now, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I think I did before, but I certainly didn't have the kind of perspective that I have on it now, just being grateful to be so healthy, and certainly being grateful to have a healthy child and to be married. And you know, every element, every part of my life is something I feel excited about and glad about. You know, I don't waste a whole lot of time belly aching about minor
Every moment's most important between both of you, isn't it? Every moment. Do you believe in fate, both of you, any of you? In fate. You believe in fate?
Fate,
Yeah.
to an extent.